Well, hello and welcome and hello. Thank you for tuning in to another exciting, electric, can't miss episode of Un Poco Mas. You are tuning in today because we are bringing you just that little bit more, that panache, that something extra, that little je ne sais quoi you can't quite put your finger on and probably don't want to. Guys, it's Thursday, July 27th. It's aftermarket. It's 5 p.m. out here in beautiful, sunny Los Angeles, California. 8 o'clock out in NYC. Hope it's a great day wherever you are. Guys, aftermarket just finished up. I want to talk with you. Gamida Cell Limited, GMDA. Guys, stock was down 8 cents on the day or 5.71%, up 6 cents after hours. Let me just refresh that, make sure I have that correct, that we closed there. That would be $1.38 on the close. So we'd have just net been down 2 pennies on the day. Guys, Algo has been firmly in control of this stock for some time. Brief history, they put out a warning. I can, pull this up so you can see it. Basically, they put out a warning right here, end of March, the going concern warning. They're out of money. They can't do anything. Stock went from $1.30, basically got cut in half. Traded sideways there up to 80 cents. Got a surprise FDA approval of their drug Omisurge. People were not expecting that approval just yet. I think a lot of people had expected it to come late in the year, maybe 6 months down the road. So the stock jumped right up and basically came back to the level that it was, which was that $1.30 level. Then it basically went in a hump mountain pattern up to around $2.50. And then that would have been right here. This last arrow started the selling pressure. It's just been a very symmetrical mountain pattern. We've been sort of in this downward channel. That it comes all the way back basically to like last April 2022, and we've seen basically resistance 1, 2, 3, 4 times. We've seen it pop up off the support line 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm counting this as 5 and 6. I know it went down on that financial hardship news. A lot of people thought, the company may be going bankrupt. They were going to have to do some type of a horrible offering. But when they got this FDA news, they were actually able to do an offering at $1.30 instead of like 65 or 70 cents, which makes a huge difference because to get the same amount of money, you get half the dilution. So that news was very timely. Now, guys, why do I make a point about this pattern? First of all, when you announce the $1.30 on the offering, that kind of puts obviously a magnetic draw on that price to bring the stock down there because it's almost like filling a gap when a stock gaps up. Basically, everybody talks about, 8 out of 10 times it fills the gap, whatever. I don't really believe in those numbers. I think a stock does what it does based on a lot of factors, based on, the fundamentals, somewhat based on technicals, but I think much more on just market sentiment, on the narrative, on the story. The stock went up on the story and then it's gone down on algos and filling that gap. And what I mean by filling the gap, and guys, I just want to point out that this $1.30 level has been quite critical. The stock has basically traded around it. It started the mountain climb there at $1.30, it went all gapped all the way up to like $1.40, but then that next day the tail comes all the way down, almost touches $1.30 again, probably gets to $1.35, climbs all the way up to around $2.50, and then the algo has pushed us all the way back down to $1.30. And I frankly believe we're going to find support there. The only time we did not find support at $1.30, we found support there. What is this, like January of 2023, December 2022, came back up, had this huge fall. This would have been, I guess, sometime early March. Um, and then again found support right there at a dollar 30, skirted along a dollar 30 for a little bit, came back up, was finding support actually on this candle at a dollar 30, and then this horrible news came and just absolutely decimated the stock down to like 65 cents. But when we popped back up, where did we start this little mountain? Basically, we started it with this candle here just above a dollar 30. Where are we going to finish this descent? Again, I believe a dollar 30. And I believe basically this is what you see with the gap in the offering, is basically that gap has been filled right here when this stock broke down below a dollar 30. And you can see, guys, the gap has been filled with these shares, but this is just pure algorithmic trading, guys. You see this stock, excuse me, I'm in draw mode. Oh, what a mistake. You see this stock just constantly barcoding, um, and there's nothing natural about it, guys. It's going from, 50 to 51, a dollar 50 to a dollar 51 exactly. And it trades in these 1 cent ranges, and it steps down very abruptly. These are only computers trading these shares, guys. There's not enough people in this stock to really influence things, and there's not enough institutions. I want to take you through the short interest, but I just want to go over to who's holding the stock, what's happened recently. Guys, just going to go over to the last reported. Level Investment Management added 97,000 shares. BlackRock added 37. These are the June 30 filings, so end of last month. I don't have anything newer. Platform Technology, again, added. Denali Advisors took a new position. Cambridge Investment Research Advisors, new position. FMR LLC, who I see in all kinds of these offerings coming in, as well as Geode Capital. This is interesting. Novartis. Someone on the comments on StockTwits in here was telling me that this filing is wrong and that I had this one incorrect, and that in fact Novartis had not picked up any shares recently, and in fact liquidated this amount of shares some time back. So, guys, sorry if there's any confusion on that, and I do appreciate that correction because, guys, I'm only going by the data I have, certainly not trying to provide any misinformation, and if anything I say is incorrect, please correct me, and I would definitely make sure to do my best to get the correct information out there. Let's see if any insiders are holding the stock. Abigail Jenkins, president and CEO. Looks like she has about 266,000 shares at that time. Let me just arrange this by trade date, see if we have. Yeah, we don't really have too much current. I'm seeing buy, but again, these just are not. These are just a little bit of old positions, guys. Let's take a look at the short interest. This has gone down significantly over time. They're saying 4% of the free float on loan. This doesn't really make sense to me, guys, because if only 4% of the free float is on loan, why is utilization 40%? So only, that would imply that, like, if almost half of the shares are utilized at 4% of the free float, only 10% ish of the entire free float is available for borrow. And that's backed up by the fact that the cost to borrow is sitting at over 20%. If days to cover are only 1.4, there's only less than 4 million shares on loan, and all these numbers have gone down. Why would the cost to borrow be that high, guys? Cost to borrow max just today was up as high as 30%, and the minimum cost to borrow was 22.6%. Guys, if you know how to read this data, you know that shares are very, very scarce. The algo is using buying and selling all these shares to push the price where it wants, and it's getting expensive. It costs a lot of money to push this down because I know a bunch of retail jamokes and jabronis like myself are buying the stock. Let's take a look at the analyst forecast for GMDA. Guys, the last rating that I trust here, I actually know Vernon Bernardino, excuse me. He is a top rated analyst. Now, his success rate's only 28%, but still, even with that success rate, his average return is 11%. So the guy is an absolute home run hitter. I've heard the guy. I've seen him interviewed. He's a 4.5 star analyst here on TipRanks. Price target $11. And of these analysts, he's the one I actually trust the most. This guy's a 5 star analyst. Again, same thing. Not a great success rate, but excellent average return. He's a 5 star analyst, and he's a $5 in a buy. He reiterated 4 months ago, JMP. So everybody has this stock going up quite a bit. The average rating is $7.50. Four buys, zero holds, zero sells, representing a 468% upside from the current levels. Let's see if there's any news over here on Seeking Alpha. Basically, no new news over there. Just one thing I wanted to mention, guys, was this article. I went over this last time and I didn't really understand it. People made fun of me because I didn't pronounce some of the words right. Well, wah. Even though I'm not a scientist, I do understand money and I do understand the market for this drug. And I've talked to people in the field, and I believe in this thing. I believe this is a breakthrough that is critical, that will be pushed out to patients. I think governments will be willing to help provide funding, NGOs, foundations. Other than that, they could get bought out. They could get a partner. And a lot of people are saying, oh, they're scaled up. They're not ready to go day one. It's like you can hire a producer to produce the drug itself just for cash without partnering with them on the back end. I mean, that is possible. So it's not like, they have to have a giant factory just to manufacture this one drug. They can outsource that, guys. That's what a lot of small companies do. I know some of you science type know it alls with your lab coats and your pocket protectors and your goggles and your Bunsen burners, waving those things around, probably lighting a cigar in the lab after hours. God knows what you guys are up to, you bunch of freaks, you bunch of pasty little turds making fun of me because I can't pronounce some science words. Well, we'll see who has the last laugh. Another guy was telling me, he's like, well, you're a complete idiot. You bought into, first off, my cost basis is pretty low because I caught this coming out of the gate like minutes after approval and it hadn't really gone up much yet. So I'm actually still green a little bit, I believe, like 6% or something. But I bought pretty heavily then, and I've been buying, I bought some shares $1.60, $1.50. I put it all online whenever I buy them, but I buy constantly. I bought a bunch down here. So I'm doing fine, guys. I'm happy with that. But this turd, he's like telling me, he's like, well, you don't know anything. You're too late. If you don't know science, like you're not reading any phase 2 journals. Like you don't know phase 2 journal data, so you're never going to make any money. You're too late. Like everybody already, the run to 250 was it. And he's like, just giving me this like lecture on and on. I'm like, buddy, I buy companies in phase 1. I buy companies in phase 2. I buy anything I think is undervalued given where they are right then. Like I'm in a company UBX that I really believe in their one drug, UBX 1325, for diabetic macular edema, and it has incredible data. But I got in on that in like phase 1, and it's gone way down into phase 2. They had a bunch of problems with their wet AMD trial. The control group had this, gain in visual acuity that wasn't expected. This and this and that. But even coming into phase 2B, I'm still buying the dip whenever that company goes down. Wedbush downgraded it. Some of these turd short long hedge funds are into it. That makes me even more confident. So the fact that I bought this company, like minutes after FDA approval was announced doesn't necessarily mean I'm an idiot, and doesn't mean I bought it when it was, overvalued. Like guys, I bought it like right here. I bought it, I don't know, started buying it I think at 80 cents or something, and then I was buying all through here, and then I didn't buy any up here above $2, but I was buying some here. So I don't know. I'm just calling it even. I haven't even looked at my position the last couple of days. I just buy. I just hit the buy button like a chatty Cathy doll, but you pull the string yourself. An anecdote should have a point. In any case, guys, let's just take a look at this news over in biospace. Oh, it's exciting. Pictured, a man in a suit examines drugs with a magnifying glass from eye stock images. Maria Gassina. Maria, Maria, Maria. We thank you, Maria, for that image. Even though we can't see it, we certainly can enjoy the text caption and imagine what that man in a suit is doing, examining drugs with a magnifying glass. Like, what the hell could you see? You know, you need a microscope, dude. But in any case, guys, Biospace, 23rd July. So this is a couple days old. With a well documented shift toward regulatory flexibility and maturing cell and gene therapy pipeline, the FDA approved 35 novel medicines in the first half of 2023, while the Center for Drug Evaluation and Research's first half novel approvals are 10 more than the first half of 2022. But it's the activity of the FDA's Biologics Division that really stands out. The Center for Biologics Evaluation and Research approval of 9 novel therapies exceeds the division's full year totals for many of the past 20 years, according to a recent review by Pink Sheet. The trend could continue during the second half of 2023 with decisions regarding Levis's, oh, I hate trying to pronounce these, I sound like an idiot, Luflucil, Brainstorm Cell Therapeutics, Neurone, and a pair of gene therapies for sickle cell disease all on the docket. Biospace takes an in-depth look at the 5 significant therapies that secured approval so far this year. I'm not going to read through all of these because I'll have to pronounce a bunch of stuff and I'll look even more stupid than I already do. And that's not easy, folks. It's not easy to get on here and have, PhDs running big labs just come on here and make fun of me because I can't say, big words like rectum van or Roctovian or whatever that is, Rocktober. But anyway, guys, BioMarin's Roctavian, Celltrans Lantudra, and when I start to think about it, Sarepta's Elvis, GSK's RXV, GlaxoSmithKline getting into the action. And finally, guys, the guest of honor, the belle of the ball, the one we've all come to see, Gamida Cell's Omisurge. The gold standard in therapy for patients with blood cancers, HCT, can be hard on the body. Typically, and this is a really good sort of plain English explanation for this drug if you haven't read this before. And I found it helpful, and perhaps some of the novice lay persons out there, those of us without multiple PhDs in different disciplines, like all of you in the comments, you're all very important. But for those of us that aren't, this might be helpful. Typically, patients receiving stem cell transplants for these cancers, including acute myeloid leukemia and chronic myeloid leukemia, need to undergo an aggressive regimen of chemotherapy or radiotherapy to remove existing stem cells, making the body more susceptible to severe and sometimes even fatal infection. Omisurge is cord blood that's been taken through Gamida Cell's manufacturing process to expand and improve the metabolic fitness of the cells. So they're making super cells here, guys. They're making super immunity cells, super cells. Gamida, Omisurge, super cells, saving lives, kicking ass. The cells are then used in bone marrow transplant to repopulate the immune system, thereby reducing the possibility of infection. Basically, Gamida gives you a supercharged immune system so that when you get this transplant, your body doesn't get an infection and your happy ass can live through it and live a happy life, guys. This is a lifesaver. It's a breakthrough. And I'm just excited to be a part of it. Even if I don't make any money, I hope my dollars, help this company get to the next level and save some lives. That would be awesome. That's good. And it's nice when you can invest in something that actually does a lot of good and does something amazing. I mean, a lot of us would invest in tobacco companies and blah, blah, blah. I try not to do that. I try to invest only in companies. At least, I'm not saying I agree with every ethical position or I think they're the greatest thing since sliced bread, but I do try to stay away from companies I believe are just doing things that are evil and harmful. So it's nice to be invested in such a great company with a great drug that's actually going to save people's lives. And this is the key here, guys. Cord blood does not require the same level as matching as cells from adult donors. Ronit Simatov, Chief Medical Officer and Chief Scientific Officer from the Israeli-based biotech, told Biospace in a previous interview. Therefore, it has the potential to help patients from racially or ethnically diverse backgrounds who cannot find a fully matched donor, she said. Okay, guys, this is amazing. They supercharge immune cells so that you do not get an infection and you can accept a donor that's not an exact match. helping people who are, from races that don't have as many donors, can't have an exact match. You just don't have as large a population to work with. Guys, this company's saving lives. Gamida Cell Limited. I'm invested. I'm excited. The stock has been beat absolutely to hell. It just made a huge round trip, guys. We can see that. We started out with this huge green candle after we came off the FDA approval, and then basically we made this very neat mountain, and we've checked back, fell down below to $1.24. Came back to close that candle, came back down, tested $1.30 again the next day. This is 3 days in a row, basically. We've had convincing tests of $1.30, and I think we've passed the test. Now, time will tell, guys. We've got to come off that $1.30 level. If the algo keeps pushing us down below that level, the stock could be in big trouble of breaking down back around to $1.11, $1.09, something in that range. I don't think it's going to break down below $1 at all. I just think there's too much potential. Too many sales, guys. This is 300 grand per patient. People are talking about, oh, there's only going to be 30, 40 patients this year. They don't have enough manufacturing capacity. I mean, guys, they just got approval this year, so I wouldn't expect a huge ramp. But even if they could do, every 10 patients they do is $3 million. I look at this one way, guys, is like, the entire market cap of the company, and I know they do have some debt. I know they have some issues, but at $140 million, guys, I mean, they only need like 500 patients. 500 patients worth of revenue makes up that entire market cap. I mean, it's crazy. Like, they could be doing that in a year or two, even by themselves, and I don't think they're going to be doing it by themselves. I think this is going to get pushed out. I don't think doctors are excited about this, guys. Researchers are excited about it. I have talked to experts in the field, and I want to get them on un poco más. Just so you guys know, I'm not a complete idiot that just goes in and throws in money without actually understanding, because I didn't read the phase 1 and phase 2 journals. Well, I don't read a journal. I'm not a little girl. Okay, I don't have a unicorn pen and write about my thoughts and my imaginary friends. Okay, I buy stocks and I make money because I got mouths to feed. I'm like Kanish, this isn't for fun to me. I don't, put it all on the line. He's like, I do this for child support, alimony. It's like, are you going to question Kanish in rounders? I don't think so. I'm giving you the playbook I put together in years of tough, bad beats. He's like, but I don't have that kind of time. He's like, I need money. I can't give it to you. You need the truck. You need a place to stay. What a great movie, Rounders. Good stuff. In any case, guys, I kind of lost my train of thought, but the stock is Gamida Cell Therapy. The ticker symbol is GMDA. The person talking to you is Danny Deals. The show you're watching is Un Poco Mas. The executive producer is Hurricane Lopez. The lady on the board here is Stock Karen, and she would like to speak with your manager. Guys, if you have any thoughts on this company, if you actually know anything about it, I don't know anything about it. I just buy tens and tens and tens of thousands of shares. I just like to keep them in my account like a little curio cabinet. Just look at them and go, oh my God, there's Gamida. There's my figurines. And over here I have, 50,000 so shares of Gamida Cell Limited. I'm just so happy to own the stock. I'm happy to be bringing all of you all this exciting information that I read on the internet. And I don't know anything about it. It's not financial advice. I would never buy penny stocks because they're stupid and they're risky, but so are you big turd. So you may as well buy some. What do you have to lose? Your life's already kind of lackluster. Take a shot. Take a home run cut for once in your life. You might connect. Close your eyes and swing, you big turd. You're so susul. I'll talk to you guys later. It's GMDA. Bye-bye.